My name is Laurie Mcdermott, and I run the website, thewifeexpert.com. This is my place where you can come to get hope in your marriage. I am a marriage advocate, and I believe there's no reason for anyone to get divorced unless there's abuse, some type of addiction, something that is preventing you from living a healthy life. That doesn't mean that, we're fighting. Oh, you know what? We can fix that. We can solve that. If every person has the chance to become their own and really discover who they are and come into the marriage loving themselves first, magic happens. But we got to get you there. And that's what I do. I usually help people when there's a midlife crisis or someone's decided, you know what? Susie at work is just freaking hot. And I'm attracted to her and she makes me happy. I feel like I'm 18 again. And you're okay. But I want to go that way. Well, I get a lot of people going, wait, what's happening? We were supposed to do this forever. I spent years researching on what happens. What is this thing, this midlife crisis thing? I have data, research, I have humans that have told me, because this happened to me. So I took all that information to use it in my own marriage, and things work. Since 2012, I've been crafting and modeling and changing and coming up with scripts, because it's a script. Men and women, when they go through this, say the same words. And so I've kind of figured out the puzzle for that, and I figured out what to say back. And that's on my video program. And you can join that if you want to, and I'll put a link below. Okay, so could you please subscribe to this channel? And if you know anyone who's having some issues in their marriage, go ahead and send this to them so they can get some hope to know they're not crazy. I'm on this marriage webinar, and yesterday we were talking about how people aren't getting married anymore. Our kids are going to grow up and not want to get married. But you've got kids, they've got to grow up inside of a cocoon of a marriage. And if you can make it through that, your kids will be better people. There's studies and research, and I am all for it. What happens to those kids? Will they go off and get married and build a family? What does that take? What does that look like? That's another conversation. But you modeling good behavior right now will show them why they need that. Being married is a heck of a lot better than being alone, says some. And I'm one of those people. And the benefits that come when you're 60, 65, 70, and you look to the left or right and see a person who's been through war with you and you came out on the other side, because you can't live a long life without having some wars. When you get on the other side, oh, heaven, heaven. I have met so many people above the age of 65 who are glad they stuck it out. Any human you're going to have is going to be imperfect. Every single person you meet, you think about a roommate you had. You're sitting with your roommate. You're like, man, there's all these things that I don't like about this guy or girl. Sure, there's things you love, but when you live with someone, you get to know all their true self. So make sure you subscribe. Please hit that little bell icon. I want to go through a few things. I get people on my program who send me things, and I don't really talk about that because that's kind of private. But then I have a lot of other people that send me stuff. It just came. So I'm like, well, this is interesting. And I want to read some of it to you, because I think it's really interesting. So this, about what I'm going to say to you, is a husband's text to his wife. What he's saying here, this is what he says. That's exactly why I want to get divorced. I don't want to feel guilty or judged for the lifestyle I have chosen for myself, which I don't consider neither ugly or sad. I just don't want to have to justify what I do and how I do it. And most importantly, I don't want to hurt you in the process. That's why I told you earlier that I feel like being married is being handcuffed. And I have to explain everything to you. This is absolutely not going to be fun the next few months, but being divorced is going to be better for both of us. But it's up to us and this new relationship we're going to have to see how it works out. I trust our relationship will be stronger than ever to get through it, and I believe we will be better on the other side. This is the lie. This is the lie. Everyone's like, wow, you and I aren't getting along. If we could just get divorced, we will be happy. The truth is, right now you're in the same kitchen. There's things going wrong. I have two people in one kitchen, there's going to be issues. Now, if you get divorced, especially if you have kids, you're in two different kitchens. Do you think you're going to have to communicate less? Oh no, it is more. Because now, stuff is happening over here you don't get to see. Stuff is happening over here this one doesn't get to see. Communication, you have to be like a master's degree in communication when this happens. And people realize, man, I really have to get along with my wife now. Bummer is I've married someone else, and my ex-wife, I should have stayed with her. And that's where people don't see that till later. In the meantime, you implode your family. Kids go that way. People hate each other. No one's talking to each other. Yesterday on my membership call, one of my wives was saying that her mother-in-law, and then she said, all those relatives that, go away once you get divorced. And I was like, what do you go away? And she's like, yeah, we're not talking to them. And I'm like, what? Aren't they still your family? Like, you married into that family. Just because he's chosen to go that way doesn't mean your relationship with his mom, his sister, the aunts and uncles, cousins, whatever changes. You are that daughter-in-law forever. Your kids are part of that family. People start dicing and separating. You can't do this. You have to be here. Christmas is over there. I'll work like that. Once family, always a family. Someone can choose not to talk to people or get a piece of paper and say, we're divorced now, so I can go be with someone else that I'm going to regret later. But right now, I'm still family. I still like your mom. Make sure you say that. That is what I believe, and that if everyone could get on that same playing field, this world would be a different place. There'd be more people going, oh, yeah, you're my daughter-in-law, and yeah, okay, my son screwed up and screwed you over. I'm really sorry about that. I love my son and his new crazy wife, whatever. I have to love them because I'm a good person, and I'm not going to judge, and I'm not going to be out there saying, no, 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 no. Love people. Leave them alone. Choose who you want to hang out with. Don't put blocks in because of people's choices. Okay? All right, I'm going to move on. This is what I do on my membership group, but I pick these because I can talk about them because they're not my people. Okay, so this was a wife. She said this to her husband, and she goes, she was texting him, and she never texted him. But we had talked, and she said this to him, and she goes, just had a chat with Jesus, and I cried. When you told me you wanted to be with this other woman, I acted like an absolute bitch, and I'm so sorry. I was so wrong, so wrong, so wrong. God gave us all free will, and if yours is to be with that lady, well, you are free to choose that life. I'm so sorry if I hurt your feelings, and I hope you can forgive me. And the response back is, I'm sorry, I think you have the wrong number. She didn't. He was just like, who the hell is this person? What? Jesus? And anyway, I just laughed my butt off because he doesn't know who this is because she doesn't talk like this. I helped her write that text. Anyway, so here's the text. A wife gave this to me. It is Horseface, which is the affair partner, because we don't want to be mean and call her a WHORE. So we made it into Horseface, which is kind. So, and not all Horsefaces know their partner, your husband, is married to someone else, you. So we got to give them the benefit of the doubt and love them and let them go. Okay, so so she screenshots what happened from her husband's phone. And this is what Horseface is saying to my client's husband. Ready? Are you awake? Next bubble. Can you please talk to me? Next bubble. Just tell me to go away forever and that you don't want to respond. Next bubble. This is not fair to me. Next bubble. I don't even know what to say to you. And then she says his name. Next bubble. Tell me something, please. Next bubble. I'm worth a conversation. Next bubble. Tell me something. Why are you not talking to me? Next bubble. I know you are seeing my messages and you're still ignoring me. Sorry. Don't do this. Don't ever do this to anyone in your life. Ever. If someone's not talking to you, pick up the phone and call them. If they don't answer, give them some time and call them again. Don't text. People are just not going to go, oh, now I'm going to text you back. You're being rude and mean to me and making me feel bad for ignoring you. I'm going to text you now. People don't do that. You look pathetic. Don't do that. Horseface looks pathetic here, which I'm okay with, by the way. So anyway, her next bubble says, tell me to go. Tell me to leave you alone. I am miserable because of this. Well, if you hang out with a married man who has kids and a problem with an ex-wife or a wife that's still around, you're going to be miserable because you're second. He's got to take care of those kids and that wife. And I don't think enough people agree with me on this. If two people are married and this husband decides to go off and find another woman, this woman and their kids together, right, back here, now he's got some other lady. Let me tell you, he might not be married to this person, but these kids come before any wife. Why? Because they came first. And these kids have nothing. Dad left the nest to go form another family or whatever he's doing. That doesn't mean these kids suffer. But dads think, well, I'm going to go find a new life. I'm going to go over there and start a new family. Wait, what? What about those kids? What? They come before the second stepwife. Stepmom. Stepmom is second. And if you're a stepmom, you have to take that role saying, you know what, those kids, they came first. Take care of them. Again, if more people did that, this life would be different. Okay, let's keep going because this is fun. So then we're still back on Horseface telling my client's husband. Next, she says, hey, can you just be honest with me and tell me I'm annoying you? And I'm like, she's annoying me, and I'm just reading this. And then she says his name, and then she says, please speak to me. Am I annoying you? Question mark. Duh. Anyway, then there's a missed call, then there's another missed call, and they're all a minute apart. And then it says, just tell me you don't love me anymore. Guys, this isn't love. This is infatuation. This is teenage baloney. This is not love. Love doesn't send texts like that, and love surely does not respond. So this is childish and stupid and never meant to be anything worthwhile. All right, on from Horseface. Okay, so goodness, I absolutely detest her, but that's really me worrying. My husband is playing with the devil. This is about Horseface. Yes, I absolutely trust you. That's me. You've already helped me more than you'll ever know. Even before we started texting with each other, your videos got me through a very dark time. I only wish I found you in November 2022 when it all first started happening. Maybe I wouldn't be in this situation now. I basically cried myself and begged him for 6 months. What a fool I was. All right, next one. The desperation from Horseface has shown me what not to do. This is gold. Horseface sounds desperate. Do you see? If you mess around with a married man, you will never end up with him. It's not just possible. You might end up with him. Sorry, someone's calling me. Not everyone knows I'm on this, and people just randomly call me. If you mess around with a married man, you will never end up with him. You might, but the end result is not possible. Happiness cannot be based on other women's tears when he left you. Maybe in the end, but during this bullshit phase of him going a little crazy, no. Only if the wife lets him go. And even then, he didn't meet the woman based on true love for her, but only in desperation and need of a blanket. So I wrote this to her, and I wanted to share this with you on YouTube. Because even if he's out searching for love, searching for that person that will make him feel good, he needs a blanket. You cannot get a blanket from other people. You got to go get a blanket and soothe yourself. You cannot rely on someone else to do that work for you. Because if you do, you'll constantly be searching for love out there. Love starts here. Love starts there. Remember that. Okay, this is funny. So this is the husband saying this to his wife. He said, I'm always not trying to hurt anyone. I'm just trying to close my past and start a new beginning. I am working on myself really hard and learning how to love myself. I am tired of holding on to the fears and past of my childhood. It all stems from my childhood. I know you've been asking me to get rid of my childhood pain, but instead I'm going to get rid of you. All I'm asking is for you to forgive me and understand that I just want to move forward and get away from you. Oh, God, you can't make this stuff up. So, what do you think, right? Is it her? No, it's his childhood. And he knows it. But yet, he's still divorcing his wife and screwing up his kids and making his kids really sad. So, yeah. Anyway. This is the wife. Good morning. Thank you for your unwavering support. I appreciate you, and I'm so thankful for all you do. This is the husband. Hi. Thank you for sharing that. That feels really good. I appreciate you working with me to getting this divorce final. The paperwork is almost completed. I know it's difficult for both of us right now, but I do know afterwards, when we are divorced, there will be a huge relief to know that this is behind both of us and we can both move forward to our positive future for our family to heal. I certainly need peace in my life, and I can't wait to be divorced. Okay. I don't agree with that, and if you're on my program, you know why, but I'm just sharing this with you. Sometimes reading it, I feel my wife's pain, and it's just silly, because what's going to happen is he's going to get divorced and think life's going to be great over there. Do you know divorce is just a piece of paper? This is it. And speaking of paper, this is my book. Please all get it. It's on YouTube. It's called My Grateful Book. Laurie Mcdermott, that's my name. It is amazing. It took me 2 years to write that, and it's unbelievable. And if you get it, fill it out. and keep it because you'll want to see it later. I wish I had one of these. This is why I made it. I made it for you based on what I needed when I was going through this. So let's talk about what happiness is. Happiness. If it is happiness you want, change yourself, not other people. It is easier to protect your feet with shoes than to carpet the entire earth. That was written by Anonymous, which is why I'm saying it. One thing I teach people is how to go back in time and repair relationships with people that you might have a difficult time with. You know, people that you're like, I don't like them. Shut them out. Block them. Put up a boundary. Boundaries. Got lots of things on boundaries. I'll put a link to boundaries below so you can watch that video. So this wife sends me this. She goes, I did get to talk privately with my mother-in-law about my husband's birth father. I just allowed her to share with how she felt comfortable with sharing. It gave me a lot of insight. Did you know, of course I didn't know, but she says, did you know his parents got divorced when he was 10 years old? Interesting thing. My husband left me 3 years ago when our oldest was 10 years old. Do you know how common that is? I often am talking to wives and I'm like, wait a minute, your husband's dad left when he was 13? Your husband left last year? How old's your son? And then she will go, oh, he was 13. Generational trauma. It repeats itself. My husband doesn't know how to do a marriage long term. It wasn't modeled to him. So if someone you're getting married to or someone you're married to never had a role model of a long marriage, how in the world do you expect them to do it? They don't know. And if you come along with your notebook, this is how we do it. I looked it up on the internet. That's not going to work. You have to do my program. There's ways of getting around it so that he doesn't know what's happening and he just learns it. It's really cool. Because he's never going to learn it. He will shift because you'll teach him. He's doing all the things I want. Oh, this is a positive one. I love this one. He's doing all the things I wanted him to do last year. He is back for good and we are moving forward. We even have plans next year to have a fresh start away from our current home, away from everything here. He told me the other day, last year was like a bad dream he wants to forget forever. I'm just being supported. Everything you said would happen, happened. I think I'm a pretty good student, but now I see where I did fail and took a long time to learn everything. But I had a great teacher. Now I'm just trying to navigate how to keep moving forward and to really make those permanent changes so I can have the marriage I've always wanted to. I think it starts with me. Okay, here's another one. And thank you, Laurie. Whatever happens with my husband, I'm forever changed. My relationships with my family and friends have never been stronger. I'm thriving at work and challenging myself in new creative ways, like my small class where I'm learning pottery. I walk through the world differently or way better than I did decades ago. I have found myself and I'm in love with me again. I'm so lucky to have had an amazing support system of people on your program, and that includes you as well. Thank you so much. I should also add, I've also found my spirituality again. Okay, okay, this one came in yesterday, and that's kind of why I'm doing this right now. You guys, listen to this. I've never told you why I left you, and for that, I will always be sorry. This is the husband. We had a great relationship, lasting a love affair for many years, and a very solid friendship. You were my best friend. I realized during the lockdown of COVID that my feelings for you weren't the same. I don't know exactly what happened, but my father has something to do with it. Let's pause. What? Wait, what? Your love for your wife is changed because of your father? Wait, what? No. This is where... So, let me keep going. I do believe I found my voice as my dad died and got sick and died. I do believe I was living in his shadow. You know what my teens were like. It was awful. My mom was sick and my dad was an asshole. I was in need of love and stability, and that's when I met you. And because you were so wonderful, I just fell in love with you and your family. There's so much that I loved about my life with you. I actually lost myself, and then I lost who I was, and I started running. I never lost contact with myself, but I lost contact with my old teenage self, who went out and became a successful man and lived my family life with our wonderful children, but it never took over the spaces in my head, which is empty. I feel like we were blessed in so many ways, but I lost sight of what really matters in my life, and I became overly focused on accumulation, and I didn't spend time with my family. We both spent too much time doing projects and the kids' lives and devoted not enough time to our relationship. So you know what? Let's get divorced. We didn't spend time with each other. We didn't spend time with the kids. We only did kid stuff. We took care of projects. And since we didn't do it right, let's just get divorced. Because you know what? We'll do it over with someone else. That is the biggest lie on the planet. Do you see how crazy this is? I was kind of jumping around, so I hope that made sense. Freaking nutso. Why would you do that? You didn't do these things right, and now you realize you didn't do them right, so let's not do anything here. Leave it alone because you didn't do it right. Let's go over there and start something new. I wish I had a blowhorn to tell everyone this. Please send this out to people. Please send this out to people so they go, oh yeah. All right, here's somebody else, a wife talking to me. She says, I keep re-listening to the part where you talk to the lady on our group call with that one accent. And what you said to her yesterday, my own mother-in-law in her dying day said to me, oh, honey, he's a good man who made a dumb mistake with a stupid lady. And you guys are going to come out stronger because of all this shit. It was an old lady. I love that. I'm gonna stop on this one part. So I love Matthew McConaughey. I love him. I think, he's a good actor, but he's just coming to his own. And people like him, right? Anyway, this is something he said that I want y'all to think about. The best thing you could possibly do as a father is make sure how much your kids see how much you love their mom. And think about all those men that leave their families and they leave their kids like naked. It's like ripping a part of a cocoon that's held together. And now mom's got to hold on to the kids that are falling. It's horrific. The best thing you can possibly do as a father is to make sure your kids see how much you love their mom. Love it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for watching. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Pass this to friends that you know that might need to hear this. Maybe friends that believe in marriage and are doing a good thing. Send this to them and say, you know what? You're amazing. You're a mentor to me and you've done the right stuff. And I just wanted to send this to you and thank you. Subscribe and share this. The only way this world is going to change and we're going to make stronger marriages, which lead to stronger families, is by people talking about it and standing up for it. So thank you. Thank you for doing your part. And I will see you on my show or at my membership site, thewifeexpert.com. Thanks.